Samuel, stop.
What is it?
I found the answer to our problems on the cover of this medical journal.
What are you talking about?
A way to avoid our compromise. But I have to talk to Dr. Emmett first.
Are you going to sign that paper, Lily Bell?
Titus, don't sign anything until I come back.
What could she have read?
Heaven knows.
Something to trick you. If you listen to her again, you'll end up without a cent.
What'll I do?
Finish it. Lily Bell's gotten us into trouble enough.
And be quick. Your and Samuel's signature will be enough.
How many T's in commitment?
3.
2.
It doesn't look right.
I'll write it. Give me a pen.
Give it back.
All it needs to say is the commitment was ill-advised and request release. Will that satisfy you?
It will when you sign it.
Sign it, Samuel.
What are you doing?
We're signing the letter. Sign it, Lily Bell.
It isn't necessary.
You'll regret this.
You have no right to act without consulting us.
Oh, do be quiet. Read this.
Read what?
This article on sodium pentothal. It's... Oh. Perhaps I better have Dr. Emmett explain. Dr. Emmett, could you please tell them what sodium pentothal is?
It's generally used in cases of extreme shock. It relieves tension, removes the patient's inhibitions, and makes them more receptive to suggestion.
It's called the truth drug.
That's not quite accurate, however.
But under its influence, the patient answers truthfully, don't they?
If they answer at all.
Now do you understand, Titus?
Dr. Emmett, did you want me?
Yes, one moment.
Doctor, get some of this truth drug at once and administer it to my mother.
Haven't I any rights at all, Doctor?
Excuse me, Dr. Emmett. May I say something? Surely you're not going to listen to these people. It's a flagrant misuse of science.
Doctor, I order you to give my mother this drug at once.
Mrs. Savage, if I refuse, I'm afraid your guardians are quite within their legal rights to remove you from my authority. I am confident they will find the means of subjecting you to the influence of sodium pentothal elsewhere.
Then let someone else be responsible, Doctor.
Mrs. Savage, $10 million hidden from use does no one any good, least of all you. It remains an ever-present symptom of psychotic thinking. This is your chance to prove you are capable of making a rational decision. An intelligent mind recognizes defeat.
Well, if that be the case, let it be known that I was not brought to my knees by science. I will tell you where the bonds are.
Wait! We've come to the rescue! It's not too late.
We'll stand by you, Mrs. Savage.
We just so happen to be listening. Shame on you! And you! And you!
Dr. Emmett, who are these people?
These are my friends.
Weren't you asked to stay upstairs, Hannibal?
I want to protest, Doctor.
And who gives you the right to protest, sir? This does not concern you.
I love you all for wanting to help me, but Dr. Emmett hasn't much choice, as you must have heard.
But what will you do?
Give them the bonds.
I think you've made the right decision, Mrs. Savage.
Are you going to tell us or not?
I'm going to show you. We are going to show you.
Oh, you'll hurt it!
There's your treasure.
She's had them with her the whole time!
What happened to the lights?
Mrs. Patty's back! Mrs. Patty! Oh, Mrs. Patty!
Where are the lights? Someone turn those lights on.
I'll get them just a moment.
For heaven's sake, Titus, don't move! You'll get killed!
Titus, strike a match.
I haven't got a match.
Who is this?
It's me! Let go of me!
Turn those lights on. Do you hear me? Who turned those lights off?
One of our patients. Oh, Mrs. Patty.
Where's Lily Bell?
She's disappeared.
My gracious, what are you doing down there?
Somebody pushed me.
It wasn't me. I wasn't near enough.
The bonds! They're gone!
Gone?
What have you done with them?
I put them on the table. You saw me do it yourself.
Then where are they?
Excuse me, Senator. I'd say Mrs. Patty has them. It seems obvious to me. She turned off the lights, took the bonds, and ran.
Miss Willie, get Mrs. Patty. Notify all guards to stop it before she destroys those bonds.
Oh, I just can't take it. I can't take it. I'm going to pieces.
Here, this will calm you. Would you like to try it?
Darling Mrs. Patty. Come on, girls, let's go for a walk.
Why, this is simply a madhouse!
Hello. Yes, Miss Wilhelmina? Good. Good. Good.
Well?
All the wards have been locked off. The staff is alerted, and Miss Willie is searching the basement now.
But did she find that woman?
Not yet.
Then what in heaven's name was the good about?
We're taking every possible precaution, Senator.
That maniac has $10 million worth of negotiable bonds. If they're not found, they can't be replaced.
Oh, what will she do with them, Doctor?
Oh, she'll probably eat them.
I don't know, but we're sure to recover them. It may take a little time.
Years. Probably.
Well, they were right in front of us. In our grasp. Why didn't you stop her?
How was I to know the lights were going out?
It's quite possible Mrs. Patty didn't take them at all.
Of course she did. No one else could have taken them.
Well, you could have.
Well, I was 10 feet away from the table when it happened.
But you're mighty quick when it comes to money. Personally, I think Lily Bell took them and stuck them down her front. Heaven knows there's room. Why don't you search her?
You didn't take them, did you, Lily Bell?
Can't you see she's trying to make us turn on each other?
Someone else could have taken them. He was nearest the table when the lights went out.
He was right in front of it.
Well, what have you got to say?
I didn't take them. I don't like bonds.
Ah! The Queen of Spades! Someone is going to die!
Oh, Doctor, must we have these people in here?
Get them out of here. No one leaves until he's been searched.
Everybody off with his clothes!
My glasses, too?
Fairy, wait. Please, Mrs. Savage, don't make this any more difficult than you already have.
Hey, Doctor, will you please do something about this man throwing cards around? My nerves are on edge.
Hannibal, don't.
Don't do this, don't do that! Don't do this, don't do that! I understand you have a lovely tiara. Do you sleep in it?
Oh, sit down, you unattractive creature. I have had quite enough.
I don't like you.
Fairy, will you please sit down quietly while we wait?
Very well. Fairy, excuse me. I'm upset.
Well, Mrs. Patty, you have the entire staff searching for you.
Stop her. Don't let her get away.
I think you'd better join us, Mrs. Patty. We'd like to talk to you.
Now we'll find out what happened to those bonds.
You'd better let me question her, Senator. She won't talk to you.
Oh, yes, she will.
Oh, no, she won't.
We'll just see about that. Well, madam, What have you to say for yourself?
I hate everything in the world. Most of all, I hate revolving doors, cuspidors, spikes, buzz, fleas, bumblebees, prickly heat, pills, pots, pans, butts, bladders, worms, germs, pachyderms, and politicians!
What does this woman mean?
Weren't you listening?
Excuse me, Fairy.
Madam, did you hear what I asked you?
There's no need to shout at Mrs. Patty, Senator. She hears you, but she's not going to answer. She hasn't answered a question in over 20 years.
Don't try any of your tricks on me, madam.
Don't make her mad, Titus. She carries a knife.
Please, Mrs. Savage. Mrs. Patty doesn't carry a knife. She's hostile, but quite harmless. Now will you be so kind as to yield the floor to me, Senator?
Very well. But I want to hear her talk.
So do we all.
Now, Mrs. Patty, this is quite important. I want you to nod your head yes or no to the questions I ask you. Now, do you remember taking a little bundle of bonds from the table a few minutes ago?
She didn't, she didn't.
Oh, this is exciting. I wish we could open a door and have a body fall out.
Mrs. Patty, look at me. Do you remember turning the lights out? Yes, you do. Do you remember a little bundle of papers on the table? Try to remember. Think.
Dr. Emmett, I found them.
No, you don't. Hand them over to me.
But, Senator...
I'll take charge of these.
Oh, look! Radio tubes!
You said you'd found the bonds.
I said nothing of the sort.
This restores my faith in witchcraft.
Where did you find them, Miss Willie?
In the basement, in the hot air duct leading to Fairy's room.
I told you I was cold all winter, but you wouldn't believe me.
I hold you completely responsible for this fiasco, Doctor.
And what just do you suggest that I do, Senator?
Search this woman. She may have them hidden on her person.
I'm afraid this is going to present a problem.
Then search everyone else while we concentrate on making her talk.
Very well. Miss Willie, will you take Mrs. Savage up to her room and search her, please?
No, no, no. Take me first. I'm the youngest and I dress quickest. Or do you want to draw straws, Mrs. Savage?
Oh, you first, Fairy. I don't want to miss anything.
Thank you. Fairy, would you like to come with me? Yes, I do.
Do you know, I was once asked to play Lady Godiva in the Elks pageant. But I didn't. My mother was afraid of so many elks.
Mrs. Patty, wouldn't you like to save us a lot of trouble?
Haven't you some sort of threat you resort to here, Doctor?
I don't threaten my patients. Mrs. Patty, look at me.
The truth drug.
Of course. Use the truth drug on her. Then we can make her talk.
I'm afraid it's out of the question. I'd have to have her guardian's consent.
Very well. We'll get it. Who's her guardian?
Her husband.
We can get him on the phone. Where is he?
Japan.
Well, in his absence, haven't you the authority to act?
We have no proof she's took them yet.
I still think Lily Bell's your girl.
Will you stop saying that?
Dr. Emmett,
Yes, Jeff.
since Mrs. Savage can't have her bonds anyhow, I think I can help you.
Yes.
Mrs. Patty didn't take them
How do you know?
because I took them.
He's the thief. I knew we were being tricked. Hand them over, young man.
I can't.
Did you take them, Jeffrey?
Yes, sir.
Then what did you do with them?
I've searched Fairy, Doctor. She doesn't have them.
Speak up.
I threw them out the window.
Titus, go outside and I'll watch from the window.
Stop!